Welcome to the Luli Print Sewing channel. Today we're going to be sewing a fabric gift basket that is a great way to celebrate your loved ones. For this project, we're going to need two panels that are 12 by 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters for our main fabric, and then two panels that are the same dimension for our lining fabric. And then we're going to need some fusible interfacing that's extra firm because we want the box to stand up. So that's going to measure, we're going to take 1 inch of our dimensions just to provide for our seam allowance. So they're going to be 11 inches by 11 inches. For this project, we're going to be using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and that's why I like to cut our interfacing a little bit smaller. So when we're like boxing the corners or like sewing a lot of layers together, we don't have that bulk, and then it's easier for us to sew the box together. So we're going to go ahead and place our interfacing on the main fabric. And then this is a fusible interfacing, so we're going to go ahead and iron it. Remember not to use any steam with your iron. And then once we have both of our outer panels ready, we are ready to cut our corners. So we're going to go ahead and cut the corners of all of our panels. I'm using a template that I just made out of heavy cardstock. It's 2 inches and 1/4. And then we're just going to go ahead and do all the corners. Now we're ready to sew our main fabric. So we're going to place the pretty sides together, making sure that everything aligns, and then we're going to sew all the way around with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Remember to backstitch every time we start and finish, and also we're just going to finish here on the side. We're not going to sew the corners just yet, so just the side, the base, and the other side. Now that we have the sides and the base ready, we're going to press the seams open. This makes it easier for our next step, where we're going to be squaring up our corners. To match up our seams, I like to pull the sides at the same time, and we gotta make sure that the seams are matching and aligning, because when we turn everything right side out, this seam is like a continuous line. We're going to do the same with the other side, making sure that the seams are aligned. We're going to be sewing with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and here I'm going to go over again because I was blocking it with the other side, so I want to make sure that you remember to backstitch at the beginning and at the end. And we're going to do the same for the other corner. Perfect. Now we're ready to turn it right side out. Remember I was mentioning before the importance of matching and aligning the seams? This is why, so the base and the sides are going to be in the same line. Alright, now that we have our main fabric ready, we're going to do and repeat the same steps with our lining. We're going to face the pretty sides together, and then we're going to go ahead and sew the side, the base, and on the other side we're actually going to leave a gap about 4 inches because here is where we're going to turn everything right side out. On this side, we're going to leave a gap, so remember to backstitch at the beginning and at the end every time we stop. Also, if you want to do some reinforcement stitches, you can go ahead and go back and forth a little bit more, just because we're going to be turning everything right side out through here. After we press our seams open, we're going to pull from the sides so we can square up our corners by matching and aligning our seams. And we're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps for the other corner. Now we're ready to sew our corners, and remember that we're using 1/2 inch of a seam allowance. For our final step, we're gonna leave our main fabric right side out, but the lining is gonna be inside out, so the pretty sides are facing together. I also like to align the corners and push all the way just to make sure everything is tucked in, and also remember to align the seams here on the side. Once we have everything aligned, we're gonna clip around and then we're gonna go ahead and sew all around it. For this step, I like to use the free arm in my sewing machine, but it's not necessary because it's wide enough. It's just more comfortable for me. Now, reaching through the gap, we're gonna turn everything right side out. Make sure to push all the corners out and then give it a nice press, so we're gonna be ready to close our gap. To close our gap, I like to use a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, but make sure that you're catching both fabrics. Also, I like to choose a color thread that matches the lining fabric. And our gift fabric basket is ready. So now we can give it a final press, and then we're ready to fold about an inch for our final look. I think this is a really fun and easy project, and I love it that we can make someone feel very special when we give them our handmade gift basket. You can fill it with personalized presents to make it extra special. If you like the fabric I used in this project, I'm going to leave the description below. It's actually a fabric collection that I designed. It's the Watercolor Celebration. And I went ahead and I designed different coordinates because I wanted to mix and match some fabrics like in my linings or for quilting as well. Thank you so much for watching and sewing along with me. If you like this tutorial, please make sure to check my other videos. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to all my new subscribers for all the nice comments and sweet words. See you next time.